All right, we got a bunch of stage 3. We got some stage 4. And right before I get started, I'm going to actually pull up the website so that I can reference the rules whenever I darn well want to. There we go. Google knows when I type in 21 duels, it fills in the rest because I go here often enough. It's a good website. All right, current stages. So quite a few people in stage 3. We'll get them through that today. Stage 3 is deck size 5. Decks must be composed by picking exactly one unit from each of the following categories: light mammals, heavy mammals, reptiles, and frogs, birds, and defenses. And I can actually pull that up briefly. Boom. That's what I'm looking at right here. These are the light mammals, heavy mammals, reptiles, birds, and defenses. Ooh. Yeah, stage 3 is fun because it's it seems like it's pretty well balanced and there's a bit of lore to it. Like, yeah, all right. So let's get into it. Lupus. These are all versus Shenshei, by the way. Shenshei is the third boss. I should have mentioned that earlier. So Shen over here in the top right, excuse me, and Lupus in the bottom left. Shen is going to be pretty familiar with what he likes as a combo of the 5 different animal types. So it looks like he's going squirrel, toad into badger, pigeon, and he's got some turrets as well, probably just to transition into the badger. Pretty straightforward game plan, seems like. Lupus over here going with a looks like a ferret poke style turret balloon ferret with some lizards and a wolf. I don't know how I feel about the wolf, but we'll see if he gets that out and how he uses it. But I think the ferret poke with the lizard stuff and the lizard with defenses is pretty good combo. You know, you could even run a semi-pile style without the arty as Lupus here. So he's got some options. Neither side is rushing. Oh, I take that back. Shen is going to go with a 6 farm double. Lupus going with an 8 farm expand, so he might be in trouble here. Let's see, 6 farm triple. As soon as he sees these, he should back right up. Now he's lucky. He was too late to get Warrens up before this first hit, but the turrets will be up in time on that side, and Shen is going to have to go around. Lupus is like he's got a bit of a choke here, so if he gets another turret down here, he'll probably be okay. Yeah, that's what I was thinking, if Lupus swapped his wolf out for maybe a boar or a fox. Might have slightly more utility, more choices, so... Looks like Shen is going to back up. I think he's got enough squirrels that he should be able to bust down a single turret easily enough. Lupus is floating a lot of money right now, actually. I wish he had put down a lizard warren or two. He's really depending on this one turret or two to hold the line, but I don't think this is going to do it. Okay, so he loses at 1 turret and 1 pig, and he survives. He's finally got a lizard warren down to help, and Shen... I don't know if that was really worth it for Shen. He did lose a lot of squirrels doing that. Yeah, ferret is an interesting choice. It doesn't surprise me coming from Lupus. He likes ferrets a lot, and the ferret turret balloon combo is something Lupus is pretty familiar with. But yeah, it definitely limits his straight up fighting army. In fact, he doesn't have a straight up fighting army. Well, and maybe that's what he's thinking, is it's not the mammal Shenshei would expect. So, Lupus is hiding behind his turrets right now. Shen farming up a little bit. Squirrel Toad is pretty good against turrets, because the toads can get in there and bust down some turrets pretty well, and the squirrels can clean up. So I'm hoping Lupus gets more turrets, or a balloon, or more lizards, or something. He's barely surviving here. But the longer Shen waits, the more Lupus is going to be ahead in economy. And there's the wolf. I I don't really know what the wolf is for. He might be using the wolf to get a jump ahead in economy by buffing pigs. He might be trying to buff his defenses, which is not really seen very often, just to make them more effective, but I don't think that's going to help much against toads. Or maybe he just wants super duper speedy lizards and ferrets. Like, speedy ferrets are decent, I suppose. Just imagine right now if that wolf was a boar. Or a fox even, but I'm thinking boar would be pretty straightforward. I guess fox would be good for poking. But okay, here we go. Shen coming in here. He's got enough toads to probably pretty handily destroy these stacked turrets here. Yep, okay, so a lot of the toads do get shut down, but they clear the turrets. Only like 3 toads went off out of the 6, but it was plenty to clear the turrets. Lupus does wrap around. Good flank there. So I think that's actually good for Lupus, because no pigs died. And he lost, what, 3 turrets and maybe a lizard for 6 toads and a bunch of squirrels. So I think it's actually good for Lupus. Yeah, the wolf ferret hit squad. It's about to come out. We've got a couple ferrets already. The wolf about to pop, and he's going to pressure Shen's third base here. Shen has yet to actually do anything but mass squirrel. He's not going to go with the badger yet. He's just putting all of his economy into mass squirrel, which squirrel toad can handle lizards pretty well, so we'll see how Lupus does here. Okay, that ferret does tank the toads, and the balloon is up. Shen's commander was not around to target fire there, so the balloon does get killed, but looks like another balloon is trying to go up. The balloon did get killed, but not right away, and now we've got the speedy ferrets. Look at that. Just so many. Pew pew. Shen needs to get in there again, I think, because with ferrets shooting this fast, the anti-ferret dancing is a lot harder, because they just keep getting free picks. I don't know. I think Lupus has got it. He's got a pretty powerful poke here. And if either side goes for a base trade, Lupus is totally going to win. Right? He's got speedy lizards. Kill the other base. Oh, Lupus has a backup base too. Yeah, he's totally fine. Looks like Shen is kind of desperately going for Lupus's economy, but this is going to be it. All right, well done. Well done, Lupus. He left himself a little open for a while there, but Shen never quite caught on to the opening. And he came out with the wolf ferret actually kind of worked really well. So he moves on to stage 4 without losing another life. I don't actually know what Lupus's lives are currently. Let me look. Yeah, that was kind of fun. Okay, so Lupus has... It looks like he has 1 life, because I think I beat him twice, and I think Cactus beat him once then. So he's got 1 life left, and he moves on to stage 4. Good to go. Now we're going to do Streif. He's got 2 lives. Digging right in. So, same rules, same Shen up here in the yellow in the top, and Streif in the red down here in the bottom right. Streif is a bit of a newer player, but he seems to be doing pretty well. There's the toad for you. Yeah, the ferret wolf. I don't know that it's that good, but it's such an explosive thing to come out with. Like, I'm sure Shen was pretty surprised to see it. And Shen just didn't quite have enough to just attack. He danced around enough, and he didn't quite have the stuff, because I think he just put money into econ. I could have seen it go in another way anyway. And maybe the wolf lizard was really a tipping point as well, having those lizards. Lizards are already the fastest unit in the game. And like the fastest and the most responsive, feels like, unit in the game. So if you give them the wolf buff and they're almost twice as fast, it just lets you micro them so incredibly well. you can easily get away from toads with speedy lizards. So maybe that was also a big effect here. But let's go into this game. So Shen with the same deck here. He's going into the 6 farm triple again, and Streif, I don't think Streif's really going to be ready for it. He's floating a lot, so he needs to get his turrets down. But he's going into boar, pigeon, snake. I like this. Snake pigeon is fun, and boar pigeon is fun, and boar snake is interesting. I like it. In this rule set, you couldn't have boar falcon and boar pigeon, because pigeons and falcons are both the bird types, so I like the pigeon choice there. Oh, interesting. It looks like he was trying to set up his squirrels to snipe a pig from down below, but he wasn't able to get them set and then move his commander around. Streif doesn't actually have to put that turret down. He could actually just... he could pop down a boar right now. So Streif, if you see this, right? That turret actually, you chased Shen away. He doesn't really need that. I would just put down the boar. Because you don't usually want to be floating this much food. You could also just put down more squirrels or the snakes. But something. Okay, that's pretty good. More squirrels would probably be good. Yep. And again, this turret is basically unnecessary. So that cell is a bit... I'm a bit worried about it, because Shen is going to come in here with a pretty hefty squirrel toad if he wants to. And Streif, you got to think you only have exactly 1 turret and 6 squirrels at the front gate. And 1 turret and 6 squirrels is not going to handle this. So this is a pretty clear run over at this point. And I think that just comes down to the one couple of times when you are floating a bunch of food, and you just got to put down something, you know, get some tier 1-ups, get the board down as soon as you have the money for it if you're going to do it, because all those extra seconds matter. It gave Shen pretty big opening to come in here. He's even got a base trade proof spot here, so he can back up. He's really far ahead on economy and army. And he's got that little ninja back there, so basically game it over at this point. Shen making good use of his toads, not just letting them explode on anything, kind of targeting the clumps of squirrels pretty nicely. And he's right back in Streif space again here. So, good opening, a valiant effort there. A good hold at the beginning as well. Just got to spend your food up in this time when you're actually ahead on eco, because Shen did the rush. You just got to make sure you're spending your money and not letting Shen get ahead. So we go into game 2 because he had 2 lives, so now he's got 1 left. If he loses this one, he has finished his run in the boss rush here. If he succeeds, he gets to move on to stage 4. Yeah, it was a little bit of tech greed, but again, I think the tech switch would have worked out fine if it was much quicker. Like, again, if he had put down the boar one immediately after hitting 180 food, instead of waiting for 200 something, and then putting the snake down and selling it, you know, it would have been a lot harder to punish. Like, just immediately put down the boar, and then some squirrels, maybe 1 snake. But he put down a lot of tech and still floated after that. So I think that's just the general RTS rule. You got to sell, or so you got to spend your food, spend your money. And of course, you got to balance that, trying to spend your money with keeping an eye on your opponent. Okay, Shen getting in here with the 2 lizards. That'll be a clean... Ooh, he gets away with no deaths as well. Nice. That's big. Game's not over yet, but that's a nice, clean lead for Shen, and he gets to come in here now with a whole 6 lizards. Streif is going to have a couple of squirrels, but I definitely see another pig going down. Yep. So this one just comes down to having a quick enough response. If you get over there and scout the 4 farm double, you just gotta immediately go home, immediately get 2 Warrens up, sell down to 5. Earlier on in this game, he was a little bit indecisive about maybe trying to keep the 6th farm. Just as a rule, 5 farms. Way to go. Hey, Lindana, welcome in. Cactus, what's up? So, Streif is safe now. For the moment, he has no lack of tier 1 units. 6 to 6. But lizards are a little better than squirrels, so Shen is going to get in there, get some nice early volleys, and I think he's going to finish the game here. Yeah, just keeping him down on 3 farms. 3 farms is an uncomfortable place to be. But Streif isn't doing anything wrong at this point, I don't think. It's just getting hit with the 4 farm double. It's a classic way to go. I didn't ignore Eel. I said hi to him earlier, didn't I? I think he was saying hey as a response to Lindana. If I missed you, Eel, good to see you. All right, and that concludes the run for Streif. Good for him getting all the way up to the 3rd boss here as a newer player. I see a lot of good stuff in his play for sure. Oh, the toad emoji. Yeah, I mean, I saw it earlier. I just... Welcome in. You're lucky, Lindana. I grabbed a little bit of water. In a little spooky cup. See the little spooky pumpkins? Alright, Tiki. Got Shen up here in the top left and Tiki Gray in the bottom right. Look at Tiki running with the big guns. He's got artillery, he's got fox, and he's got owl. So he's just going to either get an arty up really quick or he's going to have to use lizard, skunk to stay alive to get his double tier 3 out. I like it. It's gutsy. I think Badger should be able to handle it if the Badger gets up. But what do you guys think? This is a very Tiki looking deck. And it is the mark of a pretty advanced player as well to be able to get up a lot of higher tier units safely. It's not easy to do at first. Once you figure it out, it's not that hard, but figuring it out is a bit of a challenge. So I think this could go either way. Especially in the early game. Squirrel Toad versus Pure Lizard. Squirrel Toad definitely has a bit of an edge. And Shen does not have any backdoor entrances into his base, so he doesn't have to worry about lizard backstabs. Even his second base is relatively okay. It's not that far away from the main. Tiki floating a little bit here. There's a skunk. I like it. The skunks are going to be super, super important here to deal with the Squirrel Toad for 2 reasons. Skunks are really good against squirrels, and the second reason is skunks can tank toad hits if that's the way you want to do it. So, super critical for the lizard player to have something like a skunk to deal with the squirrel toad. So it makes sense that he's rushing into it. Shen going mass squirrel here, and I don't think the mass squirrel is going to work because early game lizards and skunks are both so good against squirrels. Shen's going to have to throw in some toads or something to help out. Okay, he's swapping over to some toads. I think he saw the lizards. Okay, sees the lizards and the skunk. Once his toads get here, he's got a bit of a shot, especially if Tiki's units are clumped up like this. The toads could get in there and hit the lizards and the skunks, and that's not what you want as green. You want your skunks far enough ahead that they can tank the toads and then get back. Yeah, just like this. Tiki knows. He's a super smart player. So skunk tanked a little bit, got a lot of gas down, and the toads weren't even there yet. He's pulling the toads back really nicely. This skunk's not even going to go down. Wow. That was crazy. What did he lose? Some health on his skunks and then like 4 or 5 lizards? Maybe 6 lizards? I mean, I knew Tiki's comp could handle it, but that was crushing. That was really good army engagement. Brutal indeed. So for beginners, if you see that, that's the way to do it. Skunk forward, don't worry about it. Get your skunk ahead, lay pre-gas down, and then engage with the lizards. Once the pre-gas is down, once the skunks have taken a little bit of a beating, not too much, because you don't really want to lose them. But you let your skunks tank a little bit, get the pre-gas down, then you engage with the lizards and chew everything up. And then as the toads come in, you run back with the lizards. Just classic stuff. So lots of gas going down here. Toads getting pretty good connections, but it doesn't matter. Tiki's army is so far ahead. And he's kind of avoiding the turrets there, except for that one skunk. He's kind of going to lose it, but I think he's just trying to gas that pig down. Interesting. So he's just letting his skunks get some gas down to slow down Shen's reinforcements, kill that pig, and then he pulls them back as their health drops. Shen going into the Badger. I don't know if I like this, because I think at any moment now Shen could just die to Tiki, so I don't know if I like the decision to try to tech up. I think he's feeling pretty desperate and needs to take a risk. Tiki just massing up more lizards. He's really not scared of the toads at this point if he micros his skunks right. And you know what, with 24 lizards, 6 toads aren't going to do that much anyway. So the turrets make sense from Shen because they're impervious to the skunk issue. However, you can't run units over turrets, so Shen is also kind of creating extra chokes for his own units that might help the skunks perform well. Let's see. Tiki coming in here with the lizards, trying to pick off this so the mill can't tank. You just want to clear that out so your lizards aren't shooting backwards. Looks like he's going to lay down a bunch of skunk gas. Shen does snipe one of the skunks. That's a pretty good hold. Again, the skunk gas doesn't hurt the turrets at all, so I think Tiki's going to back up and not really want to tango with the turrets there. Already going up. And just in the nick of time, too, because the Badger is going to come out. So, yeah, the turret seemed like a pretty good decision from Shen there. Interesting how the econ count at the top there, the pig count, does not count the campfire. It says he's got 3 mills and 4 pigs. He really has 2 mills, and then it says 5 pigs now. He's got that 6th food source, so. Okay, Badger is out. Looks like he's waiting on a couple of pigeons. So, interesting. If Tiki wants to rush in with the lizards to kill the Badger, he's going to have to deal with the toads. I think the Artie will do him well, though. Because if Shen tries to micro his Badger around, the Artie's just going to chew up all his squirrels. It's tough. Tiki is depending on his Artie to hold him now. I think he's just trying to get some food up again. Shen is starving. He's waiting for that one farm to finish. Tiki is he's not doing super hot on eco either. Not really enough to pull up a tier 3 of his own, so I think he's just using the Artie to hold. Ooh, this is pretty threatening. Gotta be careful not to lose his lizards, but he's creating threats, keeping Shen on the back foot here. I guess the only thing to do about the Artie is if he could just get the Badger onto it and some toads onto it, but otherwise the Artie is pretty strong, and Shen's squirrels are just gonna die instantly because everything Tiki has can handle squirrels. Because Tiki's ahead, any unit trade like that, if he trades off lizards for toads, it's actually really good for Tiki because he has the income to replace the lizards. whereas Shen doesn't have the income to replace the toads. So, I don't know, I feel like I could see more of that. Tiki could definitely afford to just keep trading out his lizards for stuff, because Shen could never pay for all of it again. But let's see, he's got enough money now he can put down a tier 3. There's a fox. Interesting choice. Why the fox? I would have gone with the owl myself. No. Badger beats owl, right? Because it can trip the mice. I guess I was just thinking against the toads. Yeah, the fox makes sense. Fox is even better in low econ situations as well. You can snipe pigeons and stuff. Shen's got to know something's up. I don't think he's seen it, but Tiki here being a little greedy because he can. He's got a full army, and he's got a that arty, so he's able to eco and tech a little bit. Whereas Shen is a little bit helpless, trying to play catch up without being too left wide open. Fun fact, by the way, I just learned this because it doesn't happen very often. When the campfire burns out, I believe you can't buy it again, correct? Which makes a difference in super late game base trading situations. Like if he's eaten all the meat off the campfire, and now if it gets killed and he loses it, he can't buy it again. I never really knew that. It's kind of an interesting little detail that would occasionally come up. Interesting, a second arty. I like it, because he knows Shen is going to have to bust through at some point here. The fox is up, and the double arty is also just to give the fox a safe place to run back to. So now he can really start the poke game. Get out there, pick off units. And I think he's going for a pig. This is really risky because he could lose his fox. He's got to keep him... Can't get him trapped. That would be a... It wouldn't be game losing, but it would be a big deal. And Tiki is playing a dangerous game. I like it. The turret makes sense from Shen, because foxes can't handle buildings, so... Smart little turret. And it looks like he's going to try to attack here. This time there's a double arty, and that makes a big difference here. The lizards and the skunk gas and the arty just cleaning everything, and there's nothing left but the badger, and that's going to get killed here. It's just not fast enough of a unit. Fox. Snipe. And that's going to be it for Shenshei. That was an interesting game, because Tiki got pretty far ahead right away, but he wasn't able to capitalize on it. And so he just got really far ahead in other ways and eventually finished him off. But there was not really a point past the 4 or 5 minute mark when Shen really had a chance. Well played. Tiki moves on to stage 4. Tosh. Alright, Shen really likes this one deck. I think he's figured, even if people know it's coming, that's what he's practiced. Tosh over here running another double tier 3 and the arty. He's going Squizzard into Pigeonless Badger, Owl, and arty. Kind of like it. It's a little less obvious how to do it than Tiki's. Tiki's with the lizard skunk seemed a little bit more straightforward. But I believe in Tosh. He's going with the 5-farm double here. Both sides go with 5-farm double. I think I missed who did it first. Yeah, Tosh did it first. Maybe they both just had the same idea. Interesting. I like Tosh's position a little better, actually, because they're lizards. Tosh's base is super duper uber safe. There's only one small entrance. Whereas Shen is pretty wide open, which makes him kind of vulnerable to lizard stuff like this. Oh, okay, just lose a lizard there. A little bit of a blunder there. And Shen farming up. So at the moment, Shen's a little bit ahead. That just like 20 foot ahead, that's it. Okay, he's going to go ahead with get the toads out. We might see some good classic Squizzard versus Squod micro here. That could be kind of fun. Squirrel's coming up to deflect. I like that Shen put the Toad Warren on the top, on the high ground, so that he can see a little bit better. His squirrels get a bit of vision if they have to fight. Ooh! Nice lizard flank there. I think he trades 3 lizards for a pig, which is worth it. It's basically 60 food on both sides, but the one losing the pig loses tempo as well. Shen gonna try to bust in here. He's got the big muscly toads and he thinks he can attack, so lure out the lizards, hit the lizards, and it seems like a pretty even trade there. I think Shen should back up though, because Tasha's gonna get his reinforcements to the fight much faster. So pretty even trade, but not awesome enough on Shen's part to clean up a pig. Tosh is moving back out into the map with some lizards. And it looks like he's going to get that pig again, that poor pig. Again, 3 lizards for that pig. It's got to be annoying for Shen. This expansion, though, is pretty safe, especially with that turret there. Lizard run-bys through this area is probably not going to happen, which means this base is completely safe. I like that spawn for Shen. Yep, so he's got to back up. I mean, 6 lizards could kill the turret, but it's a lot of hassle and takes a little extra time. So Tosh is floating a lot of food here. Is he going to go with an arty? I think he is. I don't think he wants Shen to see it. Ooh, nice. Nice pick there from Shen. He just gave himself a little bit of high ground vision and sniped that pig. Tosh is going into an owl. I think he wanted to do the arty, but he didn't want Shen to see it, so he just went with the owl instead. And he's moving out again with the lizards. Unseen. If this turns into a base trade, this is actually bad for Tosh. He's got to run back home. Okay, with the lizard flank, good catch. Tosh lost a Warren, but other than that, he could capitalize on that opening. Maybe. I think Shen's okay. That was almost disastrous for somebody, but turns out I think we're okay. Shen's econ lead is getting pretty strong now. He's 3 farms ahead, and those 3 are fresh farms. And he's got this Squirrel Toad Force sitting in the middle of the map, keeping Tosh back in his base. So Tosh is going to have basically one moment with the owl popping out and Squizzard to really get some damage done. Shen's floating a lot of food here, but let's see. If he goes in for an attack, not the best Toad connections. They're okay. Yeah, good enough. He gets in. The owl is literally going to pop in the nick of time. There it is. But owls don't have a big spike of power. It's not like a boar. So I think Shen is going to beat Tosh here. Because Tosh doesn't have any farms left. I would be so surprised if Tosh got out of this life. Nope, loses the owl, taps out. Well played from Shen. Let me check on the life count here. So it looks like Tosh had 2 lives going into this, and he just lost 1. Let's go into game 2. Tosh switching it over to the blue color, and he's got Lizard Pigeon. So he's got the Badger with Pigeon support, and then he's got Lizard Skunk, kind of like Tiki had, and the turrets. Whereas Shen, switching it out completely different. I don't think there's any rules for Game 2 having to be different. Yes, Tosh is now in his last life. But Shen going with a totally different idea. Anyway, he's got the 4-farm double coming out. If we go into a long game, it's Boar Falcon. Boar Falcon with Squizzard and Mines. I wonder why the Mines. but the Boar Falcon is a really strong combo if you can get it up. So classic 4-farm double, classic 5-farm double response. Tosh should have no trouble holding this. Nice. Okay, he does snipe. That's good for Shen. I think he just cost 2 lizards to kill the 1 pig, so that means Shen is actually a little bit ahead right now. I think he's like 30-ish food ahead. I take it back. That's actually more than 30 food ahead. So Shen coming in up here with 6 lizards and backing up. Just keeping the pressure on. There's a mine there hiding under the lizards. I wonder how easy that'd be for Tosh to see. I feel like... Oh, no. Okay, he sells it in time. Nice. So Tosh actually came out on top pretty strongly in that fight. 2 low health lizards in the 6-6 fight, so that's pretty strong for Tosh because his commander was there. Shen's commander was not there. Yeah, I think the MG would have worked out fine. Ooh, nice snipe. Yeah, Tosh is pretty strong in this opening now. He's got the extra couple of farms. Shen has lost a couple of fights. And a couple of mines have been picked off. There's the MG. Yeah, that's a good call, Heartseed. I think the MG would have been good earlier on as well. But because Tosh scouted the 4-farm double immediately, the 5-farm double response was fine. Even though he got a little bit behind by losing that 1 pig. I think he just wanted to be able to attack back and have the flexibility. Whereas if he had done the turret, he wouldn't be able to attack again. Okay, so he showed the Badger, and then he sold it off, and he's going to do Skunk instead. Looks like Shen took the opportunity to farm up to his 8th farm finally. Yeah, and going around... Yeah, I guess he could have gone around, but you're right. Just the one real angle to attack. The turret would have been strong, but again, you can't counterattack with a turret, so I think that's probably why he did the lizards anyway. I like the base trade. Safety base here. Unless that's actually a regular ninja and he's going to put eco on it. Ooh, there is this back door he can come in. Squirrels are going to take out that turret. It's a fancy little attack from Shen, but maybe a little bit too fancy. It actually just got cleaned up really, really well. And now Tosh has a huge counterattack. Kind of a blundered split there. You know what? Well held from Shen, though. Somehow he didn't lose a pig there. The reinforcements really kept everything alive for him, and Tosh didn't want to lose any skunk, so he backed up. I'm not sure if I like Shen trying to counterattack here. It's just not going to work. You've got 10 tier 1 units against 13 lizards and 2 skunks. No. You got to try to... If you're going to win a fight, it's got to be with the defender's advantage on your side. You've got to try to leverage that to your advantage. Like here. Skunk S is going down, but he might be able to hold again. A couple of pigs go down. The skunk is down. That Warren somehow survives. Good fight there by Tosh. He knows when to back up and how to back up to get a couple extra hits. And he's got his own second base ready to go. You mean if he put MGs here? Yeah, that'd be pretty crazy. I mean, Shen could go around it, but it would just give Tosh a really nice opportunity to get in and kill all the Warrens. Uh-oh. I don't think Shen knows about this ninja. I think he's going for the base trade, but it's not going to work out super well. Now Tosh can go hunting for a second base. Or kill the army, because Shen has no economy left. Wow, Shen couldn't even quite finish off that main base, so now Tosh is just miles ahead. Shen has one farm, some lizards, or one farm, some warrens, and no army. Well played there. You know, I do got to give it to Shen, though, on that first opening move where he picked off a pig in the middle of a line of 3 pigs with his 2 lizards. That's a pretty, like, he actually got damage out of the 4-farm double, even when Tosh had the right response. Tosh, with his 1 life, moves on to stage 4. Now, 2 meows. Does 2 meows have an alias that I'm not remembering? It's up here in the red. Squirrel, toad, boar, falcon, mine. Again, the mine, I'm not sure if I am a huge fan, but I'd like to see mines used more. Oh, it's QQ. Okay, thanks. And Shen down here with his classic... Right? Squirrel, toad? Yeah, yeah. Yeah, Tickle Bandit, aka QQ, aka... Okay, that's right, 2 meows is that guy. Yes, I did. And I played him as a boss as well, so I should have known. Should have remembered. Sorry, Q, if you check the recording. What is Shen doing? Just a safety warren? Oh, the QQ is 2 different cats. Interesting. Well, that would explain the 2 meows. Maybe I'll have to ask him next time if I get him on my stream again, or if he gets me on his stream. So 2 meows coming in here. That's actually a pretty bad positioning by Shen. He's got his squirrels kind of exposed there. Got a couple of them picked off while he was scouting. Yeah, Shen's gonna have to be careful here. He's moving out onto the map without a lot of support. And he fought that last fight from in front of his pigs instead of in his pigs, so it could have gone better for Shen, I think. Yeah. Oh yeah, totally a good map for Q. He gets a really nice expansion when he wants it. And the high ground. Don't underestimate the high ground. So Q, he's getting some falcons. Interesting. I feel like toads would have been a little bit better, but if he's ahead... Sometimes if you're ahead, it doesn't matter what you put your money into as long as you have something. I like the mines because Falcon's biggest weakness, one of the Falcon's biggest weaknesses is they can't retreat very quickly, but if you've got mines, it gives them a safer retreat path, so I like that idea. Shen with the turret there. Interesting turret placement. It's not really helping in this particular fight. I think he just wanted to avoid being attacked from that angle, but he does hold, only loses 1 pig there. And Q gets away with his falcons alive. Buying the base here, actually, the forward base, makes a lot of sense because your units can start healing up, like, right there. Ooh, he loses a falcon. He didn't actually kill any pigs there, so that was maybe an overextension. Yeah, the falcons wasn't a bad idea, but he's just got to be a little more careful with them. I don't think that last fight was necessary to commit to. Once all your units are super low health, you can just retreat. especially since right here is a healing point. Yeah, look at all that blood. So graphic. Toad time. Which one? Which one of them? Ooh, that falcon. See, that's the thing about falcons, is they're not that much better than squirrels in these low numbers, and they just become a target, and they don't actually get to contribute to the fight all that much. Like, I think if... There we go, there's some toads. Toads will clear up the turret, or if they hit the squirrels sitting in the pigs, they'll clear the pigs as well. Oh, pigs are gone anyway. Toads I like. And we got a badger coming out for Shen, so he's just going to try to hold and survive until that badger comes out. He's retreating up to his own high ground, up the hill. And Q is tightening the noose. If he didn't see it, he's got to suspect it. Or something like it. Alright, looks like he's going in. Decent toad connections here. I like the turret ring from Shen, though. It's doing pretty well. It's picking off a lot of reinforcements, actually. Those toads did not get as good of connections as they could have. But Shen does sell the badger. I think he knew Q was going for it. He's gonna swing the falcons around, trying to pick off a couple of pigs here. There we go. That corner turret finally goes down with the reinforcements. Those were pretty high-value turrets, I must say. But at this point, Shen has 4 farms and Q has 9. And is way ahead on tech. So overall, successful engagement. I love that surrounding effect. Should be able to just win now. Even if he loses toads on all the warrens, he's still got more squirrels. There's that one turret. You can't see it behind the mill. There's 2 turrets there now. Okay, he's trying to buy another one. There it is. Second turret. Shen is really trying to defend up here, but if any toads hit those turrets, it's game over. That's all Q has to do, is get his toads to hit those turrets. My boy, Q. Toads beat turrets. Get him. You got him. Just don't let the toads hit that mill. Because Shen's got nothing beyond those turrets. And he knows it too. He keeps selling them because he needs to be able to afford anything to get a chance back at the game. I think maybe Q is just a little bit nervous about attacking directly into turrets when he doesn't have to be. Like, sometimes you can just attack the turrets directly and clear them out, and it's better. He's kind of trying to go around them. Alright, there we go. Finishing the job. GG. Good fight there, and good defense from Shen. He lasted a lot longer than I would have in that situation. So that is it for our stage 3 for now. So we're going on to stage 4. Let me pull up the rules for that. Stage 4 is against Lego Man. Ooh, scary, scary. Representing Germany here. Deck size 3. And it is random mirror decks. So the boss will roll 3 times before each game. 3 deck combinations, and the challenger will pick one. So we don't get to see what the deck rolls were, but Lego Man rolled 3 random decks each time, and the challenger picks which one. I think that's it. It's that simple. So Lupus here. Lupus has 1 life left. So it looks like Ligament rolled three times, and Lupus picked the Squizzard Balloon. Pretty safe looking deck, it seems like. You've got Squizzard, right? Not that crazy. I could imagine worse. And maybe there was worse and Lupus didn't want it. So I expect we'll see a lot of Mass Lizard here, honestly. The balloons, I could definitely see the balloons not really getting used. Although, both sides have exactly 3 bases, and Lego Man has better positioning for balloon, potentially. So I could see something like that, but I really think it's just going to be Mass Lizard at each other. The strength of squirrels in the Squizzard composition is not usually against other lizards, but correct me if I'm wrong. Like the squirrels here, I guess you can use them to split and stuff, but lizards are just better than squirrels when they're fighting each other, especially early on. Until you get so many lizards that they can't find tiles to sit on, and then squirrels can help. Because they can sit further away and shoot. Oh, Lego Man going for squirrels anyway. Interesting. Lupus has got 1 lizard warren, so he could actually try to go pick off a farm or 2 at this point. Like he's got 1 lizard in a second he'll have 2, which is enough to kill a pig, or at least a building pig. Like Lupus could totally just click his attack move. And in a second he's lost his opportunity. It's okay. Very, very small window. But he decides to focus on farming up faster. So Lupus could, in a second, I think he just got to put down like 1 more lizard warren, boom, or 2, and then some more farms. So Lupus is doing good right now. He's actually a little bit vulnerable right now. This is a problem because he's going to get attacked by 6 units, and he just lost 2 of the. He placed 3 farms, and he sold 1, but he lost 2 others. Maybe he sold 2 of the 4, but that's actually already huge value for Lego Man because he sniped so much. So Lupus getting a little bit greedy. He didn't respect the fact that Lego Man had 2 warrens of tier 1 units. Yeah, Lupus is too chill for that. He doesn't get super hyper aggressive. Good point. So game's definitely not over, but that was a nice big value win for Lego Man there because Lupus was trying to get a little extra greedy. Early on, you really, really gotta keep a good eye on your opponent's warren count and match it. And if you're not matching it, it has to be for good reason. You gotta know what you're doing. So let's see here. Lego Man going for Mass Squirrel, actually. He's just doing squirrels. I love that cabin there. Nice. This is so much from Lego Man. And Lupus's target firing is a little unfortunate because there's a lot of injured squirrels for Lego Man. Target firing is a difficult art in Tooth and Tail. But Lego Man definitely came out on top there. Picked off 3 pigs. So he's 2 farms ahead now. And he's definitely got the army lead, which means this counterattack is definitely doomed to fail. This is a mistake I see Lupus making a lot, actually, is when he loses a fight, he thinks he has to counterattack as an all-in. But the problem is when you lose a fight, you're definitely going to lose the follow-up fight. So the all-in response to losing a fight cannot be engage again. Just in general, Lupus, if you see this replay, that is so many squirrels, wow. If you see this replay, just in general, I see this a lot from you. If you lose a fight and you're behind, don't counterattack because you're just guaranteeing falling further behind, generally speaking. All right. Well fought there. It all came back to that early edge that Lego Man got by shutting down Lupus's greed. And I think that was his last life. So that completes Lupus's run. Made it up to the 4th boss, which, with the bosses being as challenging as they are this time around, that's definitely a good achievement. Way to go. All right, Tiki. Tiki has... how many lives does Tiki have? There he is, 3 lives. Tiki has 3 lives. All right, Lego Man here with, oh my gosh. Lizard Mole Wire. Bear in mind, guys, Lego Man doesn't get to practice this as much as a lot of the other bosses get to practice their setup, because he's just rolling random constantly, and then the challenger is picking, so there's not much Lego Man can do to practice, except remind himself that unit compositions that take more than 3 units cannot exist. So both sides here are not really prepared for what they've got. Tiki with the 5-farm single. And the other thing is, both sides know exactly what the opponent's got for units, right? Like, Lego Man knows Tiki's got lizards and vice versa. Which is probably why that safety warrant from Tiki, like, he knows Lego Man could easily 4-farm double. Right, that's true. Tiki is a big lizard fan, and Lego Man not so much. That would explain why he went squirrels against Lupus, if he's just not a lizard player. So it looks like Lego Man responded to the single warren with some wire, just to make sure that 2 or 3 lizards can't cause trouble. And Tiki responded to the static defenses by selling his warren. So both sides getting up to their 8 farms. I'm interested to see if the moles really get used here. It seems like it should be another mass lizard situation. Looks like Lego's trying to expand. Oh, Hardseed saying this. Yeah, lizards and moles are both good at punishing expansions. But given this map, actually, I feel like Lego Man's okay. There's not a whole lot of, like, backdoor entrance. And there's not a whole lot of, like, high ground cliffs and stuff, except for maybe over here, where moles could be hidden. So I think Lego Man's doing okay. I guess this is kind of concerning. Tiki is good at his lizard micro, my goodness. He ran in there, he got a volley off and ran away, got another volley off. Like, that's just next level stuff right there. Do you see that? The moving shots almost. Tiki's got an entire 3 more lizards than Lego Man. There's no way Lego Man's going to keep his expansion alive. So you're right, extremely risky. Tiki just has more lizards right now, that's it. Wire before engage? You mean you should have put some wire down? That would have helped. There we go, there's one anyway. Wire is pretty good against lizards. I like how Tiki really does not want to be counterattacked here. I don't think it's likely enough to warrant 8 wire. A single layer would probably be fine, but I guess if you're that far ahead, you can afford a little extra security. Lego Man does have the greater lizard numbers here, so let's see. No, don't run. Fight, you've got more. Oh, okay. I think if Lego Man hadn't run away there, he would actually be doing pretty well, because he had 4 extra lizards. Now there's wire. Oh yes, just let him shoot you down. Oof. Tiki's just getting so much damage. Look at that. He won that fight with 7 lizards, and he was a couple lizards short to begin with. Big oof. I feel bad for Lego Man, if you're saying he's not usually a lizard player. Because he's obviously a strong player, and he knows what's going on, but the fast-paced, like, super micro-intensive stuff is not working out well for him. Again, I think that earlier moment here before Tiki got that wire down, Legoman had a bit of a moment. But now Tiki just has so many extra lizards. A little risky, Legoman here, keeping the lizard count low, trying to catch up in econ. This makes sense. I like it a lot. If you're a little bit behind, it makes sense to play risky this way to try to get a little like econ. Ooh, you wanted to pick off a wire. It's probably also trying to keep Tiki from scouting how greedy he's being. Because there we go. Tiki gets the lizard count, and now he's got to know. Legoman's got to get his lizards up. By the way, the hidden advantage Tiki has here, like econ-wise, they're pretty even. Tiki has a big lizard lead, but he's also got a huge number of extra wire, which means that Tiki has the opportunity to be much more flexible because he's got all of this wire kind of keeping him safe from backstabs. Like 20 wire to 3. It just gives Tiki more map choices than Legoman has. It's like a ZVZ. This is exactly like a ZVZ. Like, the lizards are the Zerglings, and the wire are the sunken colonies. Like, the wire doesn't help that much, but it makes a difference. Okay, this is actually a pretty good engagement for Legoman. A lot of the lizards, the mill tanked there, and a lot of Tiki's lizards were just stuck running around in circles. This is a better engagement for Tiki, though. Getting this around finally, cleaning it all up. So, Legoman trying to counterattack there didn't work out super well. And he taps. What a fight. Yeah, the lizard positioning is a totally different deal. This army graph is a little bit misleading because this is when Tiki put down a crap load of barbed wire. All right. Tiki moves on up right away. And last set today, Tosh has 1 life left. So this is going to be it. The second stage here is definitely a ghost. It's going to be Tosh moves on or he has finished his run. We'll see. Interesting. Toad, Skunk, Fox. Oh my goodness. The Toad-only fights are really weird. Because usually pure mass Toad is just not good, but if you have to because it's against other pure mass Toad, like, it's a really interesting deal. It's a lot of micro trying to get your 3 Toads to hit his 6, for example. Like, weird. It's a underexplored part of Tooth and Tail, I think. Just pure Toad versus pure Toad. I don't think the Skunks would be that helpful. Maybe for tanking. Maybe for tanking and for killing pigs, but what do you guys think? Are the Skunks really going to be useful here? What is Legoman doing? It's not like he's hiding moles or anything. Oh, Tosh is trying to sneak out the Skunks early on. Legoman, on the other hand, going up to the full 8 farms and then a bunch of Toads. Yeah, so the Skunks are more terrain dependent, but Toads are really fast. Yeah, I'm curious. What about, like, Skunk Toad versus just Toad? Does the Skunk Toad win? Because, I don't know. Obviously, both Tosh and Legoman agree that it's worth getting the Skunks. Oh, hey, Tatanka. Welcome in. You and Cactus played a couple of Toad-only games. Pretty interesting. They seem like they're pretty interesting. It's just not something you see in normal gameplay. Excuse me, I am out of water and starting to lose my voice a little bit. Okay, skunks are able to kill pigs with the gas. Just bear in mind, toads are going to beat skunks on every terrain type except roads. Like, toads can outrace them. This is so weird. The skunks can't actually directly damage each other. They just have to shoot gas. There we go. See, the toads win. See, I don't know. Jen, are you serious? I feel like the fox isn't that helpful. Well, okay. I'm going to eat my words again. Lego Man thinks the fox is helpful. Both sides think the fox is helpful. Okay. I guess the fox can get away from toads because they're faster and get away from skunk gas, so. The skunk versus skunk wars are really interesting. Because they can't actually shoot each other. They just lay down gas. Well, both sides did put down their fox warrants at the same time, so neither side is going to have a real huge spike of power where they have a fox and the other person doesn't. Lego Man will get his like a second sooner, but... Ooh, a second fox. I feel like that's just in case one dies. Like, if you have a fox versus fox, you really want to be the one with the two foxes because you can kill the other person's fox. Or, if your fox dies, you're not stuck without a fox at all. Honestly, I think that's the biggest deal, is if Lego Man loses a fox, he'll have another one on the way sooner. Theory says first fox always loses. Oh, commander kill. That makes sense, too. Is 2 foxes enough for commander kill? Both of them going for multiple foxes. Man, okay, these guys obviously know something that I don't. Like, they've both got the game figured out. They're both premier players with a lot of experience. Ooh! That fox is going to die with, like, a single toad hit or a second. If Lego Man's fox sits in skunk gas for, like, a split second, it's dead. That's interesting, because a fox will get another fox down to 1 health, which means skunk gas becomes actually really important. Because if all you have to do is shoot the fox, and then it sits in skunk gas once, and it's dead. Or the other way around, the fox runs through skunk gas, takes a hit or 2 of damage, and then the other fox can one-shot it. So I think I like Tosh's idea here, where the skunks are still helpful. Problem is he doesn't have any foxes anymore, so Lego Man's running around with toads and multiple foxes. And Tosh doesn't have any toads to kill the foxes, because skunks can't kill foxes on their own. You need the other fox or the toads or something. So I think Lego Man has done it. Well played, Lego Man, indeed. He just crushed that, and now Tosh is starving. And the fox will snipe any pig that dares exist for a second, so... Yep, unless we see a miracle. There is a fox here for Tosh, but 2 foxes totally beat 1 fox. Again, unless Tosh can take advantage of the skunk thing that he's got. Again, like 1 skunk gas second plus a fox hit will do it, but I don't know. Toads are volatile, though. Tosh is going to have to sell a toad warren and buy a farm, though. If the 6 toads somehow clear the 15 toads, and the skunk gas is laid down, then Tosh could realistically, or possibly, do okay with his 2 foxes. He's just got to not step too far forward with the fox. Gotta keep that skunk alive. Never mind. Okay, the skunk is... Tosh's only chance, honestly, was that skunk combo. And he lost it, so I think... Like, you're right, gentlemen. He had no chance, but now he really has no chance. Ooh, and he shot the commander too. That's unfortunate. There you go. Fox down. Tosh out. Well played. Well played, Lego Man. And again, both those players had the exact same idea. Skunks right away early on, and then Foxes. The more the better. So that's going to do it for episode 16. Tosh is finishing his run there at the 4th boss.